This is for the players. For those that leap into battle in the blink of an eye. For the drivers that compete for their club, no matter where they are. For everyone who has triumphs, tips and tricks to share.
And for those who love to play with complete freedom, this is for the game changers, the innovators. This is for the players. This is PS4.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
swimming, basketball,
netball
and athletics,
you'll see this logo.
It's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
You can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than.
Hello and welcome today to Rockwell Automation Park for round 9 of the Northern New South Wales NPL season. Today on Bar TV, it's a battle at Bear Park between two of the form sides of the competition. Weston are still in the afterglow of a stunning come-from-behind win over the previously unbeaten Broadmeadow Magic last week, where they came back from 2-0 down within 17 minutes to record a 4-3 win after Jake Milstead's injury time winner. Edgeworth, on the other hand, have slipped under the radar to record 5 impressive victories on the trot, none more so than a 2-1 win over defending premiers the Lambton Jaffers with only 10 men. Today they face their toughest test of the past few weeks up against last year's grand finalists at a ground where they haven't won at all over the past 3 seasons. Edgeworth must also resurrect an away record, which before today, their last 2 away wins in a row, they won just 1 of their last 10 away. So who will it be today? A Western side carrying on with the confidence from last week, or will the juggernaut that has been Edgeworth lately keep rolling on? We're about to get underway. I'll go through the sides in just a sec. Just after we get underway. Blasting the audio here at Rockwell Automation Park with the Western Bears song. Just waiting for the referee to put the ball on the ground and we'll be all good to go. It's Jamie Subat and Gary McDermott in the middle. And we're underway up here at Weston. Goes back to Nathan Morris already, and Weston are going to start out from the back. So I'll go through those sides for you. For Weston, Tim Pratt in goals. Number 2, Nathan Morris. 3, Robbie Turnbull. 4, Brock Oakley. 7, Liam Thornton. 10, Gary McDermott. 11, Jamie Subat. 13, Carl Thornton. 16, Zach Snedden. 19, Wilson Edwards. And 25, Troy Herefield. On the bench is number 5, Nick Thompson, number 9, Jake Milstead, number 14, Rob Macbeth, number 24, Paul Clout, and number 30, Adam Pearce. For Edgeworth, in goals, Jim Fogarty, Aaron McLaughlin, number 3, number 4, Aidan Bryce, number 7, Bren Hamill, number 8, Josh Evans, number 9, Brodie Taylor is out of today's game, Keanu Moore, number 10, 11, Dylan Holes, 14, Justin Tannock, 15, Pat Wheeler, 17, Dom Blazari, 22, Lockie Pasquale, 2 Bray Smith on the bench, 2 Bray Smith, 5 Cameron Hughes, 12 Brenton Olzoma, 19 Liam Spurway, and 23 Ben Smith. As Josh Evan plays it back to Jim Fogarty, who plays it back to him, and just the opening exchange is up here at Weston. great to have your company on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's been a cold week, and it's going to be interesting to see how both these sides perform after impressive runs of late. Last time Weston were up here, they went down 3-1 to Hamilton. Ball goes over the sideline. It's going to be a throw for Edgeworth. Of course, that last match up here for Weston, a 3-1 loss to Hamilton. Before that, a 1-0 loss to the Jets. So they've actually lost their last 2 at home, Weston. And they haven't lost a game away from home, Weston, this season. So an interesting stat there for them. Not the greatest free kick down there from Edgeworth. It comes back now for Bren Hamill, puts it back into the mix. Attempted to be headed away. Sits up now. The shot from Dylan Holes, saved by Tim Pratt into the side netting. And it's going to be a corner for Aaron McLaughlin, and Edgeworth see if they can create the first chance. Joining me today in commentary is Gary Fisher from Northern New South Wales. How are you, Gary?
Good, thanks, Benny. Yourself?
I'm very good.
Excellent. Great to be here. Beautiful afternoon.
Yeah, beautiful. Here it goes back stick. Just a little overcooked. Bren Hamill has got it on the far side of the box. He has a shot. Ricochets off defenders. Weston will want to clear it. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the home side. One of the Western players is down. I can't see who it is. Do you have the number plate, Gary?
I think it's Zach Snedden, Ben.
Zach Snedden just getting to his feet. Any ideas why Brodie Taylor's out of today's game?
Oh, no, it's a bit of a surprise myself, mate. Not sure what the situation is there. Obviously, tough few weeks for Brodie, but yeah, not sure.
He's been in good form, Brodie Taylor, scoring plenty of goals for them. He scored 2 in the opening 8 rounds of the competition. Wilson Edwards down in front of us is going to throw it in and goes down the line. Looking for Liam Thornton. Got a bit of a haircut, Liam Thornton, since last week. Herefield down the left side. Turning around, and we've got a free kick, or is it a throw? It's going to be a throw going the way of Edgeworth. Down on this near side. Carl Thornton heads it back. Scored last week against Broadmeadow. Tim Pratt looking long over halfway, and Snedden now with Turnbull, so a little chance here for Weston. He's got some space, Robbie Turnbull. Of course, played his 200th game against Hamilton a few weeks ago. And they've turned it back over. Dylan Holes down the line, and Carl Thornton after it with Justin Tannock. And runs down over the sideline. Who's your tip for today, Gary? It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it should be a tight one. Probably leaning towards a draw, actually. As you alluded to there a moment ago, both teams in a reasonable amount of form. Only a point separates them on the ladder. So I'll put my neck on the line and say a 1-1 draw.
So here we go. We had some predictions last week, 3-1 Broadmeadow. Didn't end up that way. They did get 3 Broadmeadow, but Weston grabbed 4 as he goes down the line. Weston. It's McLaughlin down in that corner, and it's going to be a goal kick. Home fans enjoy that one. And Tim Pratt is going to knock this one out. Robbie Turnbull with 201 games to his name at Weston. Nathan Morris 219. And Tim Pratt 173. So they're the three largest in the club out there today. Carl Thornton with 169. As it runs down, Wilson Edwards knocking it back, and now with Pasquale looking across the ground and charging after his Don Blazari, who spent a year in Italy last year. Goes down the left side, now with McLaughlin. Still with McLaughlin. Back to Blazari and across the ground now for Pat Wheeler. Looking wide, and there's space down here for Aidan Bryce. Takes it down the right side. He put one in, still with Bryce putting it in, and Carl Thornton does well with the head. and runs down and over the sideline. Gary, Jason Cowburn's been out for a few weeks. Is he injured?
No, I think it's away with some work commitments. He's actually changed roles from what I've been told. And
Well, here's a chance for McLaughlin. He has a shot. It's blocked. Back to you, Gary.
no, just out for a couple of weeks. Back next week, I think. So similar vein with James Money with the Western side. Their rosters negate them, can't play every week. So
Yeah, Jason Cowburn has 98 games for the club, 2 away from a century. So if he doesn't get injured for the rest of the season, pretty certain he'll achieve that feat. So free kick to Edgeworth, Brent Hamill standing over it. And Brenton Olzoma on the bench today for Edgeworth. He's been in the starting lineup the past few weeks for them. Has dropped back to the bench. And Don Blazari is going to try and hit this one with his left. Runs around, tries to call it near stick. Tim Pratt does well and takes it nicely. Pratt looking long now. Looking for Jamie Subat. Goes down and over the byline and over the sideline, I should say, and Edgeworth will have a throw on that far side of the ground. Very even opening 7.5 minutes up here at Rockwell Automation Park at Weston. Thornton getting in and Snedden now. Going back to Brock Oakley, looking now for Gary McDermott. Played a lot of his junior football in New Zealand. Gary McDermott.
Yeah, he's a Kiwi that's an Australian born. Just noticed in Weston's program today, he's actually born in Australia on Australia Day, but spent most of his youth in New Zealand.
Yeah, I read that as well too, Gary. It's very funny actually. Born in Maitland, but played under 19s in the under 19s New Zealand youth team. So had a great time over there. Did Gary McDermott?
Thought he was quite outstanding for Weston last week in their come from behind win against Magic.
Yeah, him and Jamie Subat really linked up well throughout the match. They were good in the front third, and that's what you've got to do against Broadmeadow. Take your chances. Goes down towards Robbie Turnbull. And now down with Josh Evans. A little bit of pressure from Subat, and he goes back to Jim Fogarty. What have you made of the opening half of the NPL, Gary, with predictions and all that sort of stuff, and where sides are placed so far throughout the season?
Suitably impressed by how even the competition is. There's no runaway leaders at all. Top 4 sides are all within a couple of points of one another, and then there's another bunch behind them who are threatening for semi-final spots as well. Adamstown's roll continued yesterday with a 2-1 win over the Jets, so that puts some pressure on the sides already in the 4. The sides down the bottom probably need to obviously start winning some games to make some impact on the season, so we're interesting to see what results come from today. But quite even the competition. I don't think there's a standout. Probably in the first few rounds you would have predicted Broadmeadow Magic, but they've come back to the field in recent weeks.
Yeah, it's been incredible because Broadmeadow were undefeated before last week, and Edgeworth actually went ahead of them before the game against Weston. It was really only because Broadmeadow have had a few draws in there that slowed them down. Only the 1 point, and it has sort of dragged them back. Edgeworth up the top of the ladder after last week, but now Hamilton have overtaken them with a superior goal difference.
I must say I've been suitably impressed with Edgeworth's style of play, totally different to previous seasons under the coaching of Damien Zane. A younger side, a lot more ball movement, a lot more pace. So reaping the rewards with where they sit on the ladder at the moment.
Yeah, they've been, I think, the most impressive that we've had here on Bar TV. We've only had a couple of Edgeworth games, but that match against Lambton where he goes McDermott. I'll go back to that in a sec. Now with Turnbull, he plays it wide. Here's a chance for Liam Thornton. Puts it on his left, just held on to it a little bit too long and has to play it back for Edwards, who puts it in. Headed away by Josh Evans. They survive there. yeah, that impressive result against Lambton. They won 2-1, and it was 0-0 when they went down to 10 men. Bren Hamill was sent off for a challenge on Grant Brown, one of the Jaffers centre backs.
Yeah, if there's been one fault, it's probably been a few send-offs for Edgeworth. I know Aidan Bryce has been sent off twice this season. As you said, Bren Hamill. So didn't cost him in certain games, but that game it probably affected him a little bit.
Yeah, I spoke to Damien Zane after that Lambton game, and he said it was an issue that they'd like to resurrect, and they have done so in recent weeks. So it's good to see from Edgeworth's perspective. So here's the ball now with Hamill. Still with Bren Hamill, turning nicely. Playing it back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin's ball in is very wayward. He came off the bench in that match against Lambton and was a standout performer from half-time onwards. He tore Lambton apart down the left side. Unfortunately, that ball not where he would have liked it then.
The score from Maitland. Maitland FC lead Hamilton Olympic 1-0. Penalty to Ben Thompson.
Well, there you go. That is definitely an upset brewing. First versus ninth on the ladder. Says the free kick going the way of the home side, Weston. That would have to be, if Maitland got the bickies there, Gary, that would have to be one of the biggest upsets so far.
Be the upset of the season so far, I would think.
Still a long time to go in that one, but
long way to go.
And it's going to be Nathan Morris. Many a coach have spoken about his influence over the competition, especially when playing against his free kicks. Here's another pinpoint. Comes out to Thornton. It comes back to McDermott. Wide to Jamie Subat. Subat, lovely turn. Turned to Aidan Bryce inside now. Squaring it back for Carl Thornton. He didn't get on the end of it. And Edgeworth will clear it away. Deflects towards Aidan Bryce off Carl Thornton's leg. And the free kick goes the way of Edgeworth. Bryce is going to try and play it on quickly. And he brings it across now to the middle of the ground with Pat Wheeler. Goes across to the far side with Blazari. Back to Wheeler again. Playing it off Tannock. Now goes to Holes. Holes looking for the ball, but very compact at the moment, Gary. A lot of the play down that middle section of the ground.
Yeah, neither team playing with much width at all. Occasional long balls trying to find the players out wide in attack, but as you pointed out, down that central corridor, it's been the dominant part of the game so far.
And I believe it's one of the biggest grounds in the comp, is that right? Or if not the biggest?
Yeah, I think it's close to the biggest ground in the comp.
Interesting that they're not using the wide expanses here at Weston. We've just had the one game up here. That was the match that Weston played against Lambton. A 2-1 win after they went behind after Alex Polozzi scored the opener for the Jaffers. Ball over the top from Oakley, but runs down to Josh Evans. Turns inside Jamie Subat and Robbie Turnbull now with Pasquale. Don't forget, if you want to comment below any questions or anything below the live stream, very much appreciated to if you have any queries on goals scored and that sort of stuff, or any predictions on the game. Here's Blazari looking down the line. Hamill's leading the race for it, but he's very, very wide. He's got Tannock trying to come back into the middle now with Hamill. And he's going to run it back out. He turns it around. Carl Thornton does really well there, Brent Hamill. Puts it back in, and Edgeworth are going to have a corner kick.
Just want to mention, great to see Luke Walker back on the park in 22s today, Ben. There was reports at the start of the year he may miss the whole season with that knee injury, but had some exploratory surgery done on it, a different procedure, and played a full game in 22s. So great to see Luke back on the park.
Well, that is great news because they were talking, full season early on. As here's Hamill into the 18, he plays it back for Blazari, puts it in back stick, looking for Aaron McLaughlin, but never got there. Edgeworth pushing up here. Pasquale back to Wheeler. Now across the ground to Aidan Bryce. And his ball's not his best. McDermott now wide. looking for Liam Thornton, and it's gone over the sideline. Wilson Edwards now with the header, and Edgeworth making their way up the ground. Here's Aiden Bryce trying to take it down the right. Liam Thornton strong in defence. Now for Subat, it holds off Wheeler. Referee gives the free kick to Weston. We'll see if they can create something of this attacking free kick, but it looks like they're going to take it on quickly. No, they're going to hold on to it.
Score from the South Cardiff Lambton Jaffers game. Lambton Jaffers lead 1-0 in that match.
South Cardiff have had a tough time of late, Gary. They were knocked over 3-0 last week by Adamstown. So
decimated by injuries at the moment too. Only got about 14 or 15 fit players at this point in time, so not good for them. So hopefully they can battle through.
Yeah, that's right. Herefield getting in there on Keanu Moore. Scored 3 goals for Edgeworth this season. Scored the 3. And here comes the train. We had it last time. Plays a starring role in our coverage every time we come up to Weston. Here's Dylan Holes over the left now with Blazari. And Blazari put it back in. Plays it back. Thornton. Keanu Moore. Now with Holes. Holes, can he evade Herefield? Herefield goes down, wins the free kick, and Weston will get themselves out of a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, no clear-cut chances so far, mate. Just, as you said, down that central corridor. Each side trying to work themselves out.
Something going on here. Referee wanting the ball taken back to the spot. Last time we're up here at Weston, we had a skateboard contest across the railway track, so that was blazing us, and then the train came across. So it was all happening at Weston that afternoon. And we'll see another free kick going Edgeworth's way. They're offside against Weston. Wheeler, Pasquale. Back to Wheeler. Great to have your company. Sunday afternoon football on Bar TV in the NPL. And it's 0-0. Weston 0, Edgeworth 0 after almost 19 minutes here at Rockwell Automation Park. Or known up here by the locals as Bear Park. There's Brent Hamill down the right side. Edgeworth probably with the opening half of the first half probably had the best chances, would you say, Gary?
Yeah, probably had as I said, no really clear-cut chances, but they've dominated the field position definitely. Just haven't. Don't know what's happened here. The ball's gone out. Free kick. Anyway, yeah, dominated the field position definitely. A few inroads by Weston.
Tim Pratt's going to take the free kick. Right down his own end, and referee wants him to move it. Edgeworth win the ball. Evans, Pasquale now. Troy Herefield nicking it back, so a chance for Edgeworth here. Sorry, Weston is Herefield, long-range shot. Going colourblind. Here's Jim Fogarty in goals. And one thing I was going to ask you about, Gary, was Sky Bates and the decision not to strip Adamstown of any points. What was the reasoning behind that? Because I know some clubs were wanting some points stripped off Adamstown. What was the go with that?
Yeah, well, it was like some clubs are saying that he's an illegal player, he's an unregistered player, but it was never the case. He was approved by both FFA and Northern New South Wales, so in no way was it the club's or the players' fault in any respect. So the decision obviously was made that they could not be, the points could not be taken off them for that reason. So yeah, it's a decision that's been made, and I think we need to move forward from that now and just get on with it. And to Adamstown's credit, they've done that. They've had 2 wins without him in the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, we'll move on.
Yeah, well, that's good news, I think. It just keeps the competition how it is, and don't have to worry about any of that points deducted at the back end of the season. Now it's Brock Oakley. Snedden now. Down the line and up the line again. Justin Tannock. Turn it around. McLaughlin now. Hamill chipping one forward. Carl Thornton under a little bit of pressure. He knocks it over the sideline and down it goes. Well, I understood Guy Bates was actually leaving anyway after round 12. Was that right?
There was some speculation about that. Yeah, I think if he was able to get a contract back in Ireland, he was probably thinking about going back. But yeah, whether there was any certainty to that, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, so Adamstown would have had to get the job done without him anyway. So I think it's better that it's happened sooner rather than later. Here's Holtz finding McLaughlin. His touch eludes him on that occasion, and Tim Pratt will roll it out to Brock Oakley down the right side. Now, one thing I did mention in the preview that Weston, before their last 2 away wins in a row, they'd actually only won 1 of their last 10 away from home. And that was against Broadmeadow in round 17 last year, a 2-0 win at Magic Park, and Broadmeadow weren't setting the world on fire last year. They finished in 9th, so Edgeworth.
It's one of those things that happens in sport, and that, away from home they've got themselves on a roll this year, Weston, and undefeated as you mentioned earlier. Their home form has been okay. Obviously lost last time here to Hamilton Olympic, and also defeated by the Jets from memory. So they'd be keen to try and rectify that today.
Well, before those two losses in a row, just as Edgeworth had won 2 in a row, before Weston's last 2 losses at home in a row, they'd won 11. They were undefeated in 11 of their last 13. So that's gone up to 11 of their last 15, which is still a very good record. McLaughlin back to Holtz. A lot of touches, Dylan Holtz. Now McLaughlin, can he pull the trigger? He's been pulled out wide on the angle. He pulls it back with the left. Tim Pratt takes it in front of his eye line and throw it out to Robbie Turnbull. Chance for Weston. They've got some space down the right.
Just in relation to Brody Taylor, I've just received a text. He was sent off last week. So thinking of Craig Carey from the Newcastle Herald. We do read your paper, Craig. We just forgot. So, yeah. So obviously needs to miss today. I think it was 2 yellows for Brody last week.
Well, we were talking about Edgeworth's discipline, and there was another one last week that we didn't know about. Here's McLaughlin trying to play it back towards Holes. Knocked up in the air, and now with Wilson Edwards trying to knock it away. Keanu Moore on the ball, plays it to Tannock. Back to Aiden Bryce. Now for Holes. Bounces up into his face. Jamie Subat, if he's got some speed, he can turn around, but Pat Wheeler does well, and will retrieve it, and Edgeworth back in their own half. Keanu Moore now after it. Robbie Turnbull with the challenge. 202nd game for him today. And he gets knocked over. Keanu Moore taking him down, and free kick goes the way of Weston. So 25 minutes gone. It's Weston 0, Edgeworth 0 here at Rockwell Automation Park in round 9 of the NPL in northern New South Wales, the halfway point of the season. It's all downhill from here for the remainder of the regular season, and then into the finals. And it's going to be Nathan Morris with the free kick just inside the attacking half. Knocks it forward and wide. And Josh Evans knocks it over towards the sideline. Pasquale putting the pressure on Subat. McDermott now looking back post. Robbie Turnbull after it. It's been knocked over the sideline. So
also a shout out to Blake Jarrett, mate. He's supposed to be celebrating his 21st birthday in Melbourne, but he's actually watching the Bar TV coverage as well. So hope you're enjoying the celebrations, Blake.
Yeah, big happy birthday to Blake. 21st. I think he went to the AFL last night, so I'm sure he had a great time there. Of course, that's a good segue here on Bar TV. You can check out the AFL highlights and all the action throughout the season on the Black Diamond AFL on the YouTube channel. So you can check all that out on Bar TV. On YouTube, just type in Bar TV and you'll Find it all a smorgasbord of local sport. Back to Bren Hamill, who plays it off to Tannock. Tannock now plays it to Keanu Moore. Keanu Moore getting around the outside. Keanu Moore, can he pull the trigger? Tim Pratt, great save. The Western hero over the past few weeks. Went low to his right and made a really nice save.
Yeah, he's been in fine form, Timmy Pratt, over the last few weeks. Had a great run there by Keanu Moore. Great ball control. Beat 2 or 3 players, and here's a bad challenge here. Justin Tannock has copped the yellow card for a foul on Troy Herefield.
Just came in and cleaned him up. Kicked at his back leg, and it had the effect of an ankle tap. One leg crashing into the other and went straight down. Some of the Western fans calling for a red. And now Nathan Morris looks it down the line. Looking for Liam Thornton, who didn't get there, and it's going to be a throw for Edgeworth.
Not one of Nathan's better free kicks, and he's prone to some special ones, but unfortunately for Nathan, that wasn't one of the better ones.
One of those special ones, Gary, we saw last week against Broadmeadow. It was goal bound, if not for a wonderful save from Nathan Archbold. Keanu Moore again down the left side, creating havoc for Weston in the opening part of this game. Now with Hamill, Lazari on the left side. Knocks it into the middle, Dylan Holt's coming, and getting a bit of a shoulder on Tim Pro to get straight up, and Weston.
Great on his feet, Keanu Moore, lovely balanced player.
Now for Wilson Edwards down the line. It's gone over the sideline. Edgeworth with the throw. Both sides have conceded 10 goals this season. Weston conceded 4 goals in the opening 6 rounds, and they've conceded 4 goals in the opening 6 rounds, and since then they've conceded 6 in the last 2 matches. So defence was watertight, and it's got a bit leaky of late. 1.25 on average, both sides concede a game. Jamie Subat now down the right side, trying to cut into the 18. He does so nicely. Still with Subat off. It wasn't for an outstretched leg from Josh Evans on that far side. Subat was going into the 18 with a mazy run. Tannock now on the ball. He's got space over here on the right. They're starting to use these wider corridors now for Hamill. Back to Bryce. Still with Bryce. A little bit of pressure from Thornton. Knocking it over the top. Can Brent Hamill get it before it goes over the byline? He does so. There's no one at the back post, and Brock Oakley will chase that one down. On the goal scoring side of the ledger, Weston have averaged 1.6 a game. Edgeworth with 2.4, so Edgeworth with the advantage in the goal scoring department. Robbie Turnbull now for McDermott. Just a little bit charges after Aiden Bryce. A lot of pressure on him. McLaughlin across to the right for Tannock. Goes through the middle of the park and across to the right for Aiden Bryce. Finds Holtz. Pasquale. And it's been turned over. So Lachlan Pasquale in the 22s at the start of the season, and has since come up and a regular player in the first grade side for Edgeworth. These two sides, their last 6 meetings, Weston with 2 wins, 3 draws, and a 1 win for Edgeworth. And those wins for Weston was the 3-2 win at home last year, and a 1-1 win away on penalties in the finals in 2013. The draw was 2013. We had a couple, 2-2 at Weston and 1-1 at Edgeworth. So overall in 2013, the sides met 3 times for 3 draws. The only time there was a victory was on penalties for Weston. And then 2012, it was a 2-2 draw up here at Rockwell Automation Park. And Edgeworth, a little bit of bump from Wilson Edwards and Lockie Pasquale there. And Edgeworth, their last win Well, their only win in the last 6 meetings between the sides came in 2014 last season, a 2-0 win at Jack McLaughlin Oval. They haven't won up here at Rockwell Automation Park over the last 3 seasons. So not a happy hunting ground for them. And Tim Pratt with the ball. And what have you made of the opening 30 minutes of this one, Gary?
Yeah, I think both sides still trying to sort themselves out. Last 10 minutes it's been prone with a few stoppages. A couple of free kicks and that coming into the game, so each side trying to assert their authority. But as I alluded to earlier, no really clear-cut chances at the moment. Keanu Moore's lovely run there a short while ago, probably the best moment in the game.
Both sides, yeah, very much in the arm wrestle this afternoon. Tim Pratt White to Brock Oakley. Edgeworth against Lambton, the match we had, they were very attacking and they dominated a lot of chances against the Jaffers with the 10 men. Then in the game we had when they played South Cardiff, there was a very scrappy affair, and South Cardiff probably were unlucky not to be level at half time. And right on the stroke of half time, Justin Tannock put one in for Edgeworth to lead 2-0. Here's McDermott getting thrown to the ground by Pat Wheeler, and here comes another yellow card for the Edgeworth centre-back. Yeah, very unlucky were Edgeworth very fortuitous Edgeworth were not to be level at half-time, but Tannock scored right on the break to put the visitors ahead 2-0 at South Cardiff. And then today they haven't looked at their best, and Weston are just playing the way they usually do. Nathan Morris again standing over it. Here he comes, looking back stick Nathan Morris. A little bit too much on that one. Free kick's not coming off the boot exactly as you'd like today, Nathan Morris, and Jim Fogarty is going to have a goal kick.
He'd like to have that one again, I think. I think he was looking for Liam Thornton on the back stick, and yeah, didn't have enough curl on it.
One thing I've looked at leading goal scorers, Gary. Brenton Olazoma with 3 goals this year, Edgeworth's equal leading goal scorer. He's on the bench today. Have you heard anything in regards to that?
No, I'm not sure what the reasoning behind Damien's decision there is. Whether he's looking for a rotation or what. Maybe using him at the back end of the game if he was predicting the game was going to be tight. So I guess time will tell.
Yeah, super sub for this week. Back to Tim Pratt. You'd have to think he'll come on this afternoon, Brenton Olazoma, unless Edgeworth are up by plenty. Wilson Edwards, the former Jaffa. Tim Pratt looking across to the sideline. Herefield gets across. Edwards again. Back to Herefield now for Edwards. Troy Herefield coming from Charlestown last year. Back for Tim Pratt. Any scores from the other games, Gary?
Currently I've got both at 0-0, although just got a message through. Lambton have gone ahead 2-0 at South Cardiff.
So Lambton ahead 2-0.
Another goal there, so that just came through. But the other two haven't got it and haven't received any updates, so I'm assuming 0-0 at this stage.
Well, here's a chance now. They've got plenty of numbers out to the left. Keanu Moore again finds Aaron McLaughlin. Aaron McLaughlin with a shot. Oh, well, it was Nathan Morris who stopped it in the 6-yard box, and that was goal bound from Aaron McLaughlin. He charged down the left. They created space. Gary, that was a huge chance.
Yeah, massive chance there for Edgeworth. Great work again, as you said, created the space down the left-hand side. Pratt was beaten, but Nathan Morris has got back there and got his right foot to it.
Well, I saw it go past Tim Pratt, and I thought it was in the back of the net. And Nathan Morris, he sets up goals, scores goals, and he saves them as well. And Tim Pratt is just going to cool it all down and with the goal kick. So Edgeworth, two gilt-edged opportunities in the opening 36 minutes. Weston just struggling to create some chances down the attacking end. Nathan Morris's free kicks today a little bit off. Here's a handball. Handball. And Weston are going to have the free kick. Nathan Morris again. Let's see if he can get this one right for Weston. Quickly puts the ball in position. The maestro, Nathan Morris, with the free kicks. Here he comes. Looking back post for, here's the header from Liam Thornton. Jim Fogarty makes a good save. It's been knocked over. It is a corner, Gary.
Much to Edgeworth's dismay, but ruled to come off Jim Fogarty last.
Was lucky there. It was headed
Liam
down
Thornton
from Thornton.
there that's Weston's best chance of the game.
Just didn't get enough on the header and bounced down pretty much in front of him. It was sort of like John Howard bowling a cricket ball, bounced right in front of him and had the shot.
Great analogy.
Got to integrate as many sports as we can into this one. Here's Morris again looking near stick. Fogarty with the punch. Back out for Morris. Puts it, squares it. Back post. It was a little bit high. And now for Brock Oakley. Trying to play it back for Herefield. But he doesn't get on the end of it. Now it's with Keanu Moore. Weston have got men back. They should defend this, but over here to the right is Aiden Bryce, I should say. Bryce looking over there for Bren Hamill. Runs down to the line. He's got plenty of men in the middle. The troops coming into the 18 now, and he wins a corner. So end-to-end stuff at the moment. And it's going to be Bren Hamill walking over to take the corner kick for Edgeworth. And one thing I have thought about, Gary, is the day that Nathan Morris does in the end retire from Weston, how much are they going to miss those free kicks? Here's Pasquale putting it in just over. Goal kick for Pratt.
Yeah, from a dead ball situation, corners and the like, he's, probably the best in the league, to be honest. And I'm sure when that retirement looms, whenever that is for Nathan, he'll be sorely missed from those scenarios at Weston.
Well, last week they got themselves back into the game through pressure, through the free kicks. Carl Thornton with the header. Got them back level. 2-2. The captain. Broadmeadow Magic were all at sea in that particular moment. Here's Bren Hamill down the left. Nathan Morris makes an error there in judgment. Gets around him. And Zach Stedden whips it up the line with his right foot, getting it out of danger.
I guess then it goes back to the development of their youth and that. They'll have to find goals from a different way, similar to what Edgeworth have done this year with the change in the way they play. Totally different style to what they've played in previous years, and moving forward when that retirement does occur for Nathan, Weston will have to do something similar.
Well, here's McLaughlin putting it in. Nathan Morris does well. That's right, that style of play is so much determined by the players you have, cattle in your squad. And when you've got someone like Nathan Morris, you can afford to sit back a little bit more because those free kicks are so potent. And now McLaughlin, that's what Weston have done so well this year. Thornton off Keanu Moore and down towards the sideline. Great to have your company. You're almost at half time. 5 minutes to go. And in the first half, it's Weston 0, Edgeworth 0 at Rockwell Automation Park up here at Weston in round 9 of the NPL. McDermott back to Snedden. Carl Thornton up the line. Cut out by Dylan Holes. Thornton does well again. Holtz gets the ball back. Had a lot of touches today, Dylan Holes. Back for Tannock. Tannock putting it in. Aaron McLaughlin does well. Here's Brent Hamill. Tim Pratt with a great save. Another double save. Oh, Tim Pratt, he's saved them today yet again. Not for the first time. Deflecting around in the box, and somehow it hasn't gone in.
Yeah, another golden chance there for Edgeworth. Brent Hamill featured prominently. And as you said, mate, just didn't go in. Double save.
This is one of those moments that we saw when Edgeworth played South Cardiff. It was the opposite way around. South Cardiff down the attacking end and controlling possession for a lot of that one. deserved to be level. They weren't. If Weston get one before the break, that would really hurt the visitors' chances today, and especially mentally, it'd be hard to come back from. But with all those red cards this year, we know how mentally strong Edgeworth are. And it's going to be Brock Oakley with a throw on halfway. Goes to McDermott. Back to Oakley. McDermott. Lucky deflection goes to Turnbull. And now with Zach Sneddon. Got a bit of a scuffle with Cale Bradbury and Reece Tippett last week, late on in the game. Bit of frustration from Broadmeadow. Back to Fogarty, and it goes up and over the sideline. Broadmeadow, of course, playing Charlestown today. Gary, we haven't had any scores from that one. Is there?
No scores at this stage. I'll double check at half time to make sure it is still 0-0.
Yep. 2-0 to Lambton.
Yeah, currently 2-0. And just as we're talking, Kane Goodchild has scored for Hamilton, so that score is now 1-1.
Is that one up at Maitland?
That's at Maitland. Yeah, that's at Maitland.
So a couple of battles up here out west today.
Kane Goodchild finding his feet at Hamilton in the last few weeks, scoring in just about every match, from what I can remember.
Yeah, he scored I think his first 2 goals for the season were against Adamstown in the midweek match we did. Guy Bates scored a double that night as well. And he, the old boys put on a show that day. 2-2 draw with that late Guy Bates free kick. Unfortunately, we won't get to see any of those for the remainder of the season just from Guy Bates' boot. Not saying that we won't see them from anyone else. Here's McDermott now down the right side. Good tackle from Evans. And Evans takes it down the left side. So closing in on half-time at Rockwell Automation Park. And Aaron McLaughlin's about to stand over. And I don't think this season on Bar TV we've had a game that was 0-0 at half-time. Round 1 it was high scoring. Round 2 as well. All throughout the season. The only match that was a low scorer was Maitland and Weston, and that was 1-0, but Troy Herefield scored in the first half. So a day of first here at Weston. Now with Bren Hamill down in the corner. Knocked up the line for Liam Thornton. Plays a 1-2 with McDermott. Hayden Bryce gets back and cleans up the crumbs. Ricochets off Tannock now. Attempt to play a 1-2 back. Turnbull, good challenge from Tannock. Came back and made the tackle. Dylan Holes now for Keanu Moore. Keanu Moore looking down the right side. Finds Bren Hamill. There's Tim Pratt trying to marshal his defence. Headed away, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Weston. Into the last 30 seconds of the first half. Across now to Brock Oakley. Now for Morris. Big crowd on the far side here at Weston today.
There's a good crowd in today. The stand is close to full, and the hill to our right is well patronised. Obviously a public holiday tomorrow, so people getting out, enjoying a few beverages and watching 2 decent sides play some football.
Yeah, and a beautiful afternoon for it, as we've touched on this afternoon at Weston. Decent view from up here as well. Sugarloaf you can see from up here in the grandstand. Mount Sugarloaf. Pat Wheeler now. Now with Justin Tannock. Finding Pasquale. Pasquale pulls the trigger. And Tim Pratt goes down and takes it in front of his own goal, so you'd think this would have to be close to the last play of the half. Hasn't made too many stoppages. As Pratt looks long. Down to Josh Evans. Evans goes for a little bit of a run. Edgeworth trying to make the most of the last few minutes. Here's Aaron McLaughlin. Aaron McLaughlin down the left. He pulls the trigger. Over and into the car park, and it'll be a goal kick for Tim Pratt, which you'd expect, Gary, would have to be the last play of the half.
You'd imagine so by the time it's taken. Great movement there again by Edgeworth. Having some success down that left-hand side of the Western defence. and Aaron McLaughlin put that one over the bar at half time.
Yeah, there it is. So halftime up here at Weston, and before you can't hear us after the loudspeakers come back on, it's Weston 0, Edgeworth 0 at halftime on Bar TV. Join us back here in about 15 minutes for the second half action. It's sure to be entertaining. We'll see you then.
This is for the players. For those that leap into battle in the blink of an eye. For the drivers that compete for their club, no matter where they are. For everyone who has triumphs, tips and tricks to share.
And for those who love to play with complete freedom, this is for the game changers, the innovators. This is for the players. This is PS4.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
Swimming, basketball,
Netball,
and athletics.
you'll see this logo.
it's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
And you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
You could.
Welcome back. Second half action about to get underway here at Rockwell Automation Park. It's Weston 0, Edgeworth 0. While we're waiting for play to get underway, I'll just go through the scores. Hang on a sec. No, that's all good. Those scores at the other grounds, we'll just check those. We had 0-0 Broadmeadow Magic. 0-0 Broadmeadow Magic and Charlestown. We had Lambton leading 2-0 at South Cardiff. And it was 1-1 at Cook Square Park between Maitland and Hamilton. Are they all right, Gary? They're correct?
Yeah, that's correct. All good.
So here we go. Edgeworth about to kick us off. 3 standing over the ball. An interesting tactic here from them. Have you seen this one before, Gary?
No, I haven't seen this one. I'm keen to see what's going to happen here, actually.
We're all waiting. And we're underway. Dylan Holes across to the right. Got the music blaring at the start of the second half. Pasquale now squaring it across the ground to Blazari. Down the line looking for Tannick. Back for Blazari. Now for Keanu Moore. Trying to turn inside Brock Oakley. Takes it out of the line and Turnbull puts it over the sideline. What do you think some of the messages from Damien Zane and Trevor Morris would have been, Gary?
Well, I would have thought both coaches would have, as the game will probably open up in the latter stages of this half or mid-stages of this half, look to play in the wide areas. As you alluded to in the commentary, it's been predominantly played down that central corridor, and as we sit in the grandstand, there's quite a large amount of space either side when the team with the ball is in possession, as we've just seen now.
Well, here goes Weston down the left side through Thornton. He puts it in, looking for Robbie Turnbull. You think, and that's where most of the players are, in that middle third, and it's so hard to put balls through. So I wouldn't be surprised if both coaches had a chat about that, trying to play with the width of this with the width of this pitch. Sometimes with the bigger fields, sort of can compress you, just the expansive nature of it, and you sort of think, oh, you've got to stay in, and it compacts you a little bit more, which probably happened in the first half.
Yeah, exactly right. As for Western coach Trevor Morris, I would have thought he may have mentioned Keanu Moore in his halftime speech, and the ability of his defenders to shut him down. He looked a major threat in that first half. And as for Damien Zane from Edgeworth, obviously no real clear-cut chances, but they probably came from dead ball situations by Nathan Morris. So I don't know how you coach against those, but I'm sure he'd want to be having his defenders nice and compact back in front of the goals.
I think the only way you coach against those is you invite Nathan Morris to your training and ask him to put in a few free kicks for you, for your defence to see if they can handle. I don't know if Nathan Morris would be that giving of his time. Go around to all 9 of the other NPL clubs and show them how it's done. Now with Tim Pratt, I'm sure when he calls it a day, he'll be able to spread that knowledge across whichever club he ends up doing some coaching work for. If he does go down that path, and Jim Fogarty now will roll it out towards Pat Wheeler, and he'll go for a run. Looks for Justin Tannick, who does well to hold it up. He's got space over down the right. He goes inside for Keanu Moore, knocked over the sideline. And Edgeworth with an attacking throw. Had the best chances of the first half, Gary, so I'll be probably a little bit disappointed not to have a goal lead.
Yeah, I would think so. I would have thought that they probably had 3 really good chances. Weston probably 1. So they would have been disappointed that they didn't at least convert one of those.
Back for Bryce now. Pasquale. Keanu Moore. Now for Brent Hamill. Again, Bryce trying to put it in. And today, right now, this would be a perfect opportunity later on if scores remain like they are now for Brenton Olazoma to come on. Here's Gary McDermott down the left side for Weston. So a chance. The cavalry's arriving now through Liam Thornton. Gets into the 18, Liam Thornton. Goes down to the byline. He cuts it back. Gets it right under it.
Not the greatest ball by Liam Thornton there. Good work by McDermott, and initially good work by Liam Thornton, but had Harefield, Subat and Robbie Turnbull in the box and couldn't quite deliver.
Sort of drifted down over the byline, and Pat Wheeler looking for Dylan Hulls. Now for Aiden Bryce. Bryce down the line looking for Hamill. Carl Thornton does well at the back and turns him around, and Wilson Edwards now with the ball down the left side. And it'll run back through. Josh Evans on the ball now. One thing I have noticed, say, Gary's Dylan Hulls. He seems to be a lot more involved this afternoon than he has been over the other matches that we've had here on Bar TV.
You don't know what sort of message he's been given at training.
He's put in back stick McLaughlin. The shot deflects off Brock Oakley.
But his involvement today has been quite good.
We're going to see a corner now for Edgeworth. Early on, second half. So 50, just over the 50-minute mark up at Weston today. Under 19s, it was a 1-1 draw, and under 22s, it was a 1-0 win for Edgeworth. And yesterday, Weston played South Cardiff in the 13s, 15s, 17s, and 11s, I believe it is. His back stick. Here's the header. Oh, goes over from Josh Evans. And they won all of those matches, did Weston, and didn't concede a goal in any of them. So they had a terrific day yesterday. Not as good today, but it's great for Weston to see their juniors so strong.
Yeah, great contact there by Josh Evans on that header. Just couldn't direct it down into the net. Been a fantastic player for Edgeworth over the last year and a half anyway. He's taken on a leadership role with Luke Walker being out injured this year and has raised to the challenge.
Yeah, well, at the start of the season, he was rated as one of the best midfielders in the competition. Across the ground for Edwards. And Luke Walker, as you alluded to, Gary, he played in the 22s. Played in the 22s this afternoon. Here's a ball through looking for Hamill. And it runs away. Pat Wheeler off the knee, straight up in the air. Keanu Moore trying to control, but there'll be a free kick for his contact with Snedden. So, do you think he'll be back next week? Because it'll be interesting because they've got FFA Cup Edgeworth in a few weeks.
They've got FFA Cup in a few weeks. They may give him another run in 22s next week, or maybe half a game in that, and standing by for first grade. Be interesting to see how Damien Dezane utilises him. Obviously, he'll be in the squad for the FFA Cup, I would think.
Here's the ball now with Liam Thornton going across the ground. Robbie Turnbull, who's been pushing up a lot this afternoon. Playing it back for Brock Oakley. Now for Subat. Subat playing it towards Harefield. Harefield knocks over Pasquale with his elbow and wins the free kick to Lockie Pasquale. Now the ball, he's been intercepted by Wilson Edwards. He's playing it left back. Liam Thornton's dropped back. He's gone down, and a free kick to Weston. So the crowd getting into it a little bit up here. And Nathan Morris will stroll over. And this is from about the position he almost scored from against Broadmeadow last week. Gary.
Yeah, two instances there. Troy Harefield one, probably rightfully a free kick. Did look like he moved the elbow. And the last one with Wilson Edwards, maybe a 50-50, but referee deemed it a free kick. And as you said, this is Nathan Morris's range here. For Jim Fogarty will want his walk set correctly, and for his other defending players to pick up runners.
Well, here is Nathan Morris. Here we go. Goes, good tap over from Fogarty. Again, Nathan Morris is on target from about 30 out, and he wins a corner for his side. We're just going to check when this attacking chance goes for Weston, the team sheet for Weston from last week. So I believe Wilson Edwards may have been on the bench. I'll just check that. Here it comes out. Robbie Turnbull's pushed up into the midfield today for this game, I believe. Brock Oakley playing at right back. Here's the ball with Edwards across to Snedden. Interesting tactical change from Trevor Morris. Looking long, going back. Brock Oakley getting on the end of it. Jim Fogarty does well. And it's going to be a corner kick. The crowd love it. Down behind Jim Fogarty. And Nathan Morris is going to trot down again. Not impressed, Jim Fogarty, with that decision. So he took it over the byline.
Yeah, just back to that, Benny. I think Wilson started last week, but Liam Thornton actually played.
Well, here's the ball in. We'll go back to that. We'll just see if Thornton and McDermott can create something. He puts it in and it's headed away. Yeah, the
Liam
match.
Thornton played in the midfield, and as you rightly pointed out, Robbie Turnbull was at as a fullback. So just some changes in formation, I think. But I'm pretty sure it's same starting 11.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. The decision to change, because the first game, I believe Wilson Edwards played in the match against Lambton. He started on the left, but then the match against Maitland he didn't, and Robbie Turnbull was playing it at right back that day. So interesting from Trevor Morris, but Robbie Turnbull's been in the thick of things. Definitely a very hard worker out there on the right.
Yeah, I think he interchanges with Liam and Robbie. Wilson.
I was talking to Blake last week about how mobile some of the sides are this year. Here's Liam Thornton down the left, shrugs away from a few plays to McDermott. Gary McDermott with a shot. Oh, off the side of his foot and goes wide. And that's Weston's best chance of the game. Oh, that was close, Gary.
Yeah, undoubtedly Weston's best chance of the game. Great lead-up work, and then McDermott beat a player. As you said, come off the side of the foot, out for a goal kick.
Well, from up here, it looked like it could have been going in, but just sliced it and goes over. And Jim Fogarty with the goal kick. Not going to be having an enjoyable time down there, Jim Fogarty. Got all the Western fans right behind him. I'll be giving it to him for the rest of this half. Now it's Snedden, Jamie Subat over on the sideline. Big crowd over there with the cars. And now with Pat Wheeler down the right side. Somehow keeps it in. Back to Keanu Moore. Now for Wheeler. And rolls down and over the sideline. And it will be a throw for Wilson Edwards.
Yeah, just back to Western's shape. Jake Milstead normally plays in a wide role as well, but was on the bench last week, as he is today, and came on and got the winner last week for them. So good to see young Jake get on the score sheet.
There were talks of offside of that goal from Jake Milstead, but I looked back at the footage and I thought the clearance that was deflected, if you have seen it, if you haven't, go onto the Bar TV YouTube channel and you can check out the highlights and you'll see that. But I thought the clearance deflected off a Magic player. It didn't actually hit the Western player, who I think was Nathan Morris anyway, so it wasn't an offside in any case.
Yeah, I went back and looked at the Bar TV vision. That was my view as well. So in that summation, the referee got it right.
Yeah, that's right. And it's never a good idea to get the video referee involved, as we've seen with the NRL this year. It's just awful, the amount of stoppages. Just great to see the flow. Leave it with the ref, and decisions even themselves out in the end. As here's Dylan Holes trying to get into the 18, getting back with Snedden. He was pushed over. There's definitely a free kick. Everyone's gone down. Moore and Tannock go down as well, and Weston get the free kick. Yeah, I think it's a much better idea just to leave it in the hands of the referee, Gary, because it evens itself out.
It does over the course of the match or over the course of the season. As the old saying goes, swings and roundabouts, so it'll all even itself out.
Tim Pratt now. Up and long over halfway. You've got a score, have you, Gary?
I have. From Lyle Cole Oval at Charlestown, and Charlestown lead Broadmeadow Magic 1-0.
Was that 2-1? Oh, sorry, 1-0. Yeah,
1-0.
Yeah. Oh, gee. I was thinking of the Hamilton game, but no. Yeah, that is correct. 1-0. Gee.
So You mentioned the other one was an upset brewing. Well, that one is an upset brewing, so keep an eye on that for the remainder of the afternoon.
It'll be interesting to see what Charlestown do there. Will they get back and defend, or will they push forward and try and get a second? I'd advise them to try and get a second, because Broadmeadow, they don't go too many matches where where a clean sheet is kept against them.
No. Plenty of attacking weapons in that side. So just another score through now. Lambton Jaffers have gone ahead 3-0 against South Cardiff at Yallinga Oval.
So they're continuing their rise up the ladder, Lambton. They've had a really spluttering start to the year. They've had wins over sides they've had wins over sides and good performances against sides that you would sort of expect to be pretty even. The top sides Lambton have played pretty well against, and then some of the lower sides or the middle table sides haven't played as well against Lambton.
Yeah, that's true. They're sort of not in that flow that they were in last year, where they not dominated the competition, but won regularly. And
here's the ball in, back post, and it's headed away. So by Liam Thornton.
I know he's had some problems with some players with injury, but recruited Jamie Burns recently, although he got sent off last week, so not playing against his former club today. But looks like they're starting to slowly hit their straps. They're a quality outfit, so you expect them to be there at the business end of the season.
Well, I spoke to Dave Tancheski after Lambton lost to Edgeworth, and I actually had a bit of research. I did a bit of research, and Lambton actually have started this season better than they started last season. Last season had an awful start to the year and won the comp, so this is where Lambton play their best football. As here goes Keanu Moore, great speed down the left side. Can he come inside? Carl Thornton just muscles him off the ball. Great defending from the Weston captain.
Yeah, good defence there by Carl. But again, Keanu Moore threatening. There is a substitution beckoning for Edgeworth.
Here he comes, Brenton Olzoma, and it's going to be Tannock that comes from the ground. So here comes Justin Tannock off, and Brenton Olzoma on. Brock Oakley playing it back to Pratt. It's going to be interesting. Brenton Olzoma this season for Edgeworth. He scored 3 goals. He came from Berkeley Vale last year in Sydney. Justin Tannock, the man he replaced, also new at Edgeworth this year. Here's a ball through. Olzoma's after it. He was running away from him, and Pratt does well. He played for Berkeley Vale in Sydney last year, and the man he replaced, Justin Tannock, came from Cahaiba, so they've both been impressive this season.
Yeah, they have.
Now, which competition do Berkeley Vale play in?
They're probably playing the Central Coast League, I'd say, mate. Yeah.
Is that an NPL competition? I don't think it is.
No.
It's just Sydney and Northern New South Wales in New South Wales.
It'd probably be the Central Coast Premier League competition. I would assume they'd be in.
Is there any promotion of that into the Sydney comp, or is that just a whole separate thing altogether?
It's a separate thing altogether. Although the Mariners did play in the NPL 2 competition in Sydney, or their academy sides.
Yeah.
So, but as far as the Central Coast teams go, they just play in their own Premier League competition.
So one thing that I'm interested in is what with the rest of New South Wales, say clubs out west, is there any with the NPL? Is there any promotion to any competitions, or is it just a whole separate thing?
Yeah, it's just a separate thing. It's difficult for those clubs and teams because of the distance and
the travel
associated with it. So
Brock Oakley's going to come off the ground, and Jake Milstead is coming on for Weston. Scored the winner last week. Yeah, interesting, because I was reading in the paper Craig Kerry's article this week about the review into the NPL and how the relegation and promotion aspect between UFM and the NPL. Tim Pratt's just going to get some attention, but that relegation promotion aspect is under review in next season, I think.
2017. the initial 3-year licences for all the NPL clubs expire then. So having a consultative process, we're seeking the club's involvement to shape what they want in the future. And it's always difficult with promotion and relegation because it solely relies on the first grade team, and clubs do invest a lot in their youth programs now with the NPL, having those four teams play at youth level. So for it to be based on the performance of your first grade side, it's pretty tough on those youth programs. So whether promotion and relegation stays, whether it goes, whether it's based on a club championship, that's open to discussion and consultation moving forward.
Well, now that I think of that, I was speaking to Late Macquarie, I think the Late Macquarie secretary at the start of the season, and she was saying that Late Macquarie were relegated, but had it been a club championship, they wouldn't have been. And now that you've spoken about that, I actually think that's a better way to go, because that youth program, it's so important for the future generations.
Yeah, 100% correct. The only issue we have at the moment is that with the youth football, not all the fixtures are replayed, given the amount there are these days, and clubs aren't able to get them replayed because they need to replay their first grade 22s and 19s fixtures. But again, that's another topic for discussion, and all the cards are on the table.
Yeah, very interesting. There's so many things that you've got to get right for that sort of thing. But I'm a fan of the promotion relegation. Makes it exciting at the back end of the season. There's Jim Fogarty looking long. Dylan Holes. And now with Brent Hamill. I think the hope, Gary, for Australia in the future is that we can have something like the Championship in England, where you have that sort of second-tier competition in Australia. But I don't know how long that would take. It costs a lot of money. That's the thing for travel and that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Say a side in Darwin has to play a side in Sydney. There's a lot of cost involved in that. As it's turned over now, Aaron McLaughlin looking wide for Holtz, but it's been turned over.
Yeah, you got to weigh all that up, and it'll be a slow process. I know there's nothing on the table to increase the A-League teams at this point in time.
Yeah, very, very interesting to speak about that, and how it's going to be in the future, as it's knocked over the sideline, and here come Weston. Bit of a lull in the game at the moment with Zach Snedden looking down the line. And we're going to have a free kick going the way of Edgeworth after the tackle on Josh Evans.
Just on that discussion we were having before in relation to Weston, Robbie Turnbull's moved back to right fullback with the change, and Jake Milstead's playing in the number 7 role, as they call it, or right-hand side of midfield.
So there's Josh Evans. So almost halfway through the second half. It's now with Holtz. Dylan Holtz playing to McLaughlin. Can he hit the shot again? It's into the side netting. Tim Pratt watched it smack into the side of the goals, and it's going to be another goal kick for him. Probably say, Gary, the second half's been more even than the first half, where Edgeworth had a majority of the chances. Weston have come into it a little bit more.
They have. I think as the game continues, it'll continue to open up a bit. We'll see a few more chances for both sides, I would envisage.
Throw going the way of Edgeworth on this near side with Blazari. Goes down the line. Nathan Morris. Now with Holtz. Now it's with Snedden looking over towards Robbie Turnbull, who, as Gary just said, has gone back to right back. Jake Milstead coming to the right midfield role. Weston go across to the far side of the ground. It's been turned over, and Aidan Bryce, wanting the advantage, didn't get it, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Edgeworth now for Wheeler. Down the line for Holes. Looking back stick. Brent Hamill was up there, but Robbie Turnbull got a touch. Hamill now cutting it back stick. Oh, just went wide, and Liam Thornton has to poke it over the byline, and it's going to be a corner kick for Edgeworth now. He looks like he's going to go short. He does so to McLaughlin. Weston weren't awake to it. McLaughlin whips it in. Morris again with the header. Bren Hamill. Lazari put in towards Alzheimer. There's just red shirts everywhere. Holes again. Well, maybe not there. Turnbull's clearance is straight up in the air. Josh Evans back for Morris. Lets it run by, and Tim Pratt with the throw. Runs down towards Milstead now. Milstead down the right side, looking inside and just couldn't find the pass. Pasquale was there to intercept. Wilson Edwards now intercepts back for Weston. So both sides just unable to control the ball for long periods of time at the moment. Morris now for Thornton. Edwards with a bit of pressure from Moore. Tussle now between Heafield and Pasquale, and the free kick. Well, it could have gone either way there. It goes the way of Edgeworth.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that could have went either way. Weston retained possession now, or regained, sorry.
Well, here's McDermott. Milstead charging forward now into space. Down the line. Jake Milstead trying to see if he can cut inside. Does so. Nice control and goes over the sideline. Jake Milstead with 11 matches for Weston. How old is Jake Milstead?
Jake's 20.
20.
Yeah, maybe 21 this year, but come right through the junior ranks. So, good young player. Good on his feet. Zach Stebbins down in back play with like a upper leg injury, limping back towards his position.
Here's the ball in, back post. Carl Thornton getting on the end of it, but just sprays off the side. And a goal kick for Jim Fogarty now. Jim Fogarty now up over halfway. Rolls on towards Hamill. Carl Thornton does well. Knocking it up the ground. 170th appearance today for Weston for Carl Thornton. Step down the line now from Liam Thornton, who's played just the 48. A little bit younger than his brother. Milstead. Across to Subat. Another Western stalwart. 128 games for him. And now for Alzheimer. Down the right-hand side looking for Hamill, but Wilson Edwards will get back and knock it all the way back to Tim Pratt. McDermott. Sliding in was Hamill. Trying to get possession back was Hamill. Didn't do so, and Thornton back to Morris. Down the line, looking for Subat. He goes back to Milstead. Milstead after he gets hammered by Pasquale, shoulder in the back. And there's a yellow card for him. Crowd not impressed up here at Weston. Him and Troy Hearfield were having a tussle before, and now he's come in and absolutely hammered Jake Milstead.
Zach Snedden leaves the ground, Benny.
We've got, Jack Snedden. Sorry, Jamie Subat, is it?
No, Zach Snedden's come off that with that injury. I think he was down in back play there. Just trying to pick up who's gone on. Probably Rob Macbeth, I would think. Yes, Rob Macbeth.
And Bren Hamill's come from the ground as well, and coming on for him is Cameron Hughes. So the revolving door of changes. Just over halfway in the second half. Here's Robbie Turnbull down the right. He's got some space. He tries to get around Blazari. He does really well. McLaughlin comes over as well. He cuts it back. It ricochets nicely for McDermott. Puts it in, but straight to Fogarty. Had a lot of time there, McDermott, to be disappointed with his delivery.
Landon have scored again at Yalinga as well, Ben. They're up 4-0 now.
Yeah, it's a sad sad state there at Ulinga for South Cardiff. We spoke earlier about the injuries that both go down over there. Referee doesn't give a free kick at all, and now he does.
Placement of the Western Workers there, side number 16, Zach Sneddon, has been replaced by number 14, Robert Macbeth.
So it's getting very physical late on in this one, Gary. Almost entering 15
both
to go.
sides don't want to give an inch here at the moment, and as I said, it'll probably open up, but the physicality of the game certainly increased as well, as there's another free kick.
Rob Macbeth going down, scored the one goal for Weston this year, and that was against Lambton in the match up here. The equaliser to get it back to 1-1.
Traditional rivals, these two. Obviously, geographically now that Maitland are in, I guess they take that mantle, but they've always been good rivalry between Edgeworth and Weston.
Well, great to have your company this afternoon. A reminder, any questions you have, just put them in the comments underneath, or any feedback. Back for Subat. Trying to turn inside. Thought there was a handball there, but it ricochets, and Edgeworth do well to clear it away now with Olzoma. He's got Wilson Edwards. Has he got the speed to get around him? Edwards is tripped over. Don't know if there was a push in the back there at all, Gary.
I agree with your call. I thought Wilson just fell over, but referee deemed otherwise, and free kick to Weston.
Milstead now to Rob Macbeth. Back to Morris. Well, Morris got a little bit of a shank on that one. And if you want any questions for me to ask the coaches at the end of the game, just post them underneath, and I'll do my best to get to them. Here's a chance for Aiden Bryce down the left. Turnbull falls over. Oh, he does well. He fell over and then got possession back. And Turnbull is telling Aiden Bryce how many times he has fouled him. And gets the free kick for Nathan Morris. Morris now across to the far side. McDermott. Back to Macbeth. So with Rob Macbeth, he's turned it over to Moore. Olzoma plays it across to Pasquale, but Pasquale's turned it over. Now with Herefield again. Here we go. The battle between, sorry, I should say Holes with the long hair. Him and Pasquale with the long locks in the middle of the park.
Very similar build, both of them, mate.
I should say Liam Thornton. Liam Thornton and Zach Sneddon have both got a similar haircut today. They must have both gone to the same barber. As now Macbeth goes down, knocking over, and there's a yellow card for Rob Macbeth. He flattened Keanu Moore, and Edgeworth get the free kick after 76, almost 77 minutes gone this afternoon. Ticking over now, 77 gone. It's 0-0 up here at Rockwell Automation Park. It's great to have your company. Next week, we've got a cracker. It's Hamilton up against Broadmeadow from Darling Street Oval. Our first match there for the season, and it was 0-0 in round 1, and it's sure to be a cracker in round 10. Last match before the break, Gary, before the FFA Cup.
Yep. There is two traditional rivals. We were just talking about rivalry. Well, there's two traditional rivalries there, so should be a great game, that one, next week.
It'll be packed out at Hamilton that afternoon. Darling Street, sure to be packed. As the sun sort of fades here at Rockwell Automation Park, you can see the shade over the ground of the grandstand. Shows how mighty it is up here at Weston. Lazari just kept it in.
Yeah, great work there by Dominic Lazari.
Yeah, just the home fans said it went out, but of course they're going to be a little bit on the Western side of things. Evans now goes for a long-range effort. Oh, Tim Pratt with a great save. Just tapped it over the bar. It was dipping, Gary. Did you think it was in?
Yeah, I thought it was in. Great strike by Josh Evans. An equally good tip over by Timmy Pratt. We've already mentioned that he's been in fine form in recent weeks.
Well, if Weston get any sort of points out of this one, they can thank Tim Pratt. He's been wonderful today, even if they don't get the win or the draw. He's probably been close to the best player on the park for them. Probably of the whole match. It's cut back across. Holds with a shot. He's put it into his own man, which was Olzoma. Pasquale puts it in again. Up they rise. McDermott clears it away. Subat, so both sides with some chances. Subat's been pulled down. Referee sees no advantage for Jake Milstead, and it's going to be a free kick, and they were very lucky there, because if he got away, Jamie Subat, it was 2-on-1, and Jim Fogarty left.
Good refereeing there for the free kick. Lucky not to get a card, though.
Yeah, very, very lucky. Here's Jake Milstead down the right-hand side, cutting inside, looking for Jamie Subat. Well controlled by Josh Evans at the back. Now for Morris, Nathan Morris. Went down the right side and started off the play that created the goal last week in the dying moments. So Weston are back to their defensive best today. I shouldn't say that too soon. Don't want to put the mocker on them. Know too well the commentator's curse. Also great to have Gary Fisher with me this afternoon. Blake's celebrating his 21st birthday, so he's not here today, down in Melbourne. Shout out to him if he's still watching. He's probably not too unhappy that he's missed this one. Herefield kicks into the referee. There's one for the Bar TV bloopers. We've seen some good ones online this week. We've seen the prop scoring 5 tries in the rugby union. And we've seen backflips, so I think that's got to go down in the highlights. 35-20, I've got to remember that. Now with Aiden Bryce. Bryce with a shot, Tim Pratt again. Oh! Well, the best part about that save was the fact he regathered after he made the initial save. So many times you see keepers make a great save, but if they don't hang on to it, there's Johnny on the spot, one of the strikers, to put it in. And Tim Pratt did awesome work there.
Strong contact there between Rob Macbeth and Josh Evans as well. Neither player pulling out of the challenge.
So Edgeworth with the throw.
Lambton go up 5-0 at Yalinga Oval, so not a great day for the Southie fans there and the faithful. Hopefully they can recover. And
Keanu Moore hammered by Herefield. Troy Herefield, well, there is a little bit of spice. Troy Herefield just gave him a little tap on the head, and Keanu Moore pushed him away. Said no thanks. There is a lot of spice, and now they're still going at it.
Like the young pup and the old dog there. they're still continuing.
Here's Blazari, puts it in. There's more where that came from, I think Troy Herefield saying to him. And then McDermott across to Milstead. Down towards Subat, coming inside. Now with Subat. Edgeworth players all around him. Back to Blazari. Evans, wide for McLaughlin. Hasn't been at his best today, Aaron McLaughlin. Although he showed us, here's Alzheimer, shaped to shoot. Back to Alzheimer. Aaron McLaughlin, that wonderful performance over Lambton. Not today. Now for Milstead, down the right-hand side. Still with Milstead, going to cut inside Blazari. And it's going to be a corner kick, referee says, and Nathan Morris will come down again, and Weston will see if they can get a late winner. There's 7.5 to go, so 82.5 gone, and it's Weston and Edgeworth 0-0. Did you catch any of the Women's World Cup action this morning, Gary, or the Champions League?
I caught a little bit of it after the Champions League. Yeah, great advertisement for female football. Record crowd in Canada.
Well, here it comes in from Morris. Thornton with the header. It's very powerful. It's Carl Thornton with a wonderful header. And Weston lead after 38 minutes in the second half. What a powerful header that was from Carl Thornton, Gary. That was incredible.
Yeah, great power in that header. We saw him score a header last week against Magic, but an equally important goal there today. Got great connection on it. Nathan Morris picked him out, pinpoint, landed it on his forehead and he buried it.
And I don't think I've heard a louder cheer in the NPL this season. My first year with Bar TV, and that's the loudest cheer this season. Liam Spurway coming on. And it's also going to be Nick Thompson who's going to come on for Weston. 2 goals in 2 weeks. So Liam Thornton off. Crowd giving him a clap as he leaves the ground. Nick Thompson comes on. Liam Spurway on for Edgeworth.
Replacement Weston
McLaughlin came off.
6, McLaughlin has been replaced by number 5, Nick Thompson.
Ball over the top. Here's a chance. Back stick. Aiden Bryce. Tim Pratt. Gee, Tim Pratt's done well again there.
He has.
And here come Edgeworth. This is not over yet, Gary, at all.
No.
Yellow card for Robbie Turnbull. I think that may be a little bit of back chat to the referee.
I think that was Aiden Bryce in that attacking move there. Timmy Pratt just put enough pressure on him to put him off, but here's the corner.
This is Blazari curling it in. Nathan Morris is there at the front post to knock it away. And Jamie Subat puts it down the line. So Weston, you'd expect now, do the grind, put the grinder on and try and grind out a result here. Josh Evans, Edgeworth are going to come at them though. Now for Olzoma. Josh Evans. Holes. Probably marginally, you'd say Edgeworth, attacking-wise, have probably been the better side. But Tim Pratt has kept Weston in it. Holes.
Agree with that comment.
Keanu Moore. Attempted to be put in over there by Blazari, I believe. Oh, here's a challenge. It was Cameron Hughes. It's going to be a card. It's yellow. He's absolutely floored Nick Thompson.
Nick Thompson, yeah.
Was 5 on 5. He's out. He looks out.
Actually, he looks out.
Gee whiz, this doesn't look good at all. He hit him with the hip, I think. It was hip or elbow. If you're unsure, just scroll back in the coverage and you can see if the if it was close enough. Is he still on the ground? He is still on the ground, Nick Thompson.
He's motionless at the moment.
He has moved, we've been told.
His cameraman's told us he's moved, so that's positive.
And Cameron Hughes just running over to see if Nick... Right. But I think it was the hip there, Gary, that just got him right in the head. And you see anywhere, you see in the league, the union, if you get your head down near where the hip is, that's a lot of it results in. Here's the crowd in front of us up here at Weston. And
it's a bit groggy, I think. Well, he's calling for a sub, but there is no subs left, unfortunately.
Oh, gee.
He's very groggy. Yeah.
Well, this is awful, Saints. He is
not
very,
good for Nick.
very
He's
groggy.
very groggy on his feet.
So, is there? See, I know with the NRL they have a rule where if you are concussed, you have to come off, have a concussion test. Is there a rule in the NPL?
Not at this stage, but in football at all at this point in time, even at A-League level. So,
well,
I guess you know, these days with head injuries, you've got to treat everything right, and or what happens after now with what monitoring his recovery and the like. So, difficult part for Weston now is they're going to be down to 10.
Well, there's no way that Nick Thompson would have passed the concussion test after saying that. But just of interest in the footballing world, what the goal was there, but not as of yet. And Weston are going to have to play the last 2 minutes plus stoppages with only 10 men, because they have made their last change. Nick Thompson, a very short stint, he just came on, and
as you said, just that. You can look at the vision on the replay, but I think it was just the hip collected him and head in the wrong position, and unfortunately some concussion for Nick. He's back on his feet on the far side of the field for the viewers watching.
As Edgeworth take it down the right side now, put in by Cameron Hughes. I just hope they don't send him back out there, because that would be a silly idea.
Physio's with him at the moment, but
yeah, after what happened, he was
definitely stumbled when he rose to his feet.
Yeah, he was looking awful. Is Evans. Oh, he's Subat from behind, and here's a yellow card for Jamie Subat. Been a lot of yellow cards this afternoon. And we've got a red card.
Rob Macbeth's now got a red as well.
So Weston are down to 9 men now.
2 yellows. It must have been back chat, I would assume. He wasn't involved in
So
the challenge or any way, shape or form.
So it was a yellow card for Rob Macbeth and for Jamie Subat.
And that is Rob Macbeth's second. So now needs to leave the field.
Well, Trevor Morris is yelling at his troops saying, get the composure, because Trevor Morris is going to be furious with Rob Macbeth. If that's back chat, it's just a stupid way to get sent off.
It can only be that, mate. He wasn't involved in the challenge, and the referee straight away, he obviously questioned the referee's decision and maybe let go with a few expletives or something, and there's the result.
Edgeworth have got plenty of players in the box. It's put back stick, it's rolled over, and it's going to be a goal kick for Tim Pratt. I just don't understand that. The back chat, you're on a yellow card. And
especially with what just happened with Nick Thompson as well. You already know you're down to 10, making all the substitutions. Just on that, Nick's walking back behind the goals as we speak, so walking okay, which is a good sign.
Yeah, there he is there, just to the left of screen. So that's good news that Nick Thompson's looking all right over there. As we go over into stoppage time, I'll be interested to see how long the stoppage time is in the second half. And now with Blazari on the left, looking towards Keanu Moore, controls nicely. Olzoma back to Pasquale. Pasquale now to Holes, and Wilson Edwards just rockets it down towards the scoreboard. And Edgeworth, Cam Hughes.
Upsets brewing in the NPL this week. Maitland 2 have hit the lead against Hamilton 1.
Well. Jamie Subat.
Charlestown currently lead Broadmeadow, so some upsets on the cards.
Well, I wonder if they know the scores at the other grounds, because they're probably thinking, Charlestown are probably thinking we're off the bottom, and they haven't checked the score at Cook Square Park. Reece Thompson's men were bound to get a big win soon. They've got a quality lineup, Maitland. They've got I think a lot of new players, and they just hadn't gelled over the opening few rounds of the competition. So it'll be interesting to see how they go now. South Cardiff and Charlestown.
It may have been an own goal at Hamilton. The scorer that I'm getting through is Simon Mooney, who plays for Hamilton. So one would think that it's an own goal.
Scored some goals in the right end, Simon Mooney, this year. So he's with Holtz. He goes long range. That's not going to work. It goes flying over the goals. Frustration, pressure, whatever you want to call it. Didn't keep his composure there, and Tim Pratt will take his time.
I've been given the wrong information. It's 2-1 to Hamilton. Apologies to all the Maitland fans out there. The initial message on his information. So Mooney scored for his own team, not Maitland.
So Hamilton with a 2-1 lead. So Charlestown, yes, they will be climbing off the bottom of the ladder if they can keep the lead over. After a terrific start to the year, Broadmeadow. If they lose, it'll be 2 on the trot. Robert Virgili and Bobby Naumov, we have to try and right that ship. There's now Robbie Turnbull with the throw. He's also been given a yellow card for back chat this afternoon. Troy Herefield down and over the sideline. So it's not unusual the amount of stoppage time we have got. Because we had a concussion, Nick Thompson.
Yeah, well, he was down for a good 2 or 3 minutes, so there's probably going to be 5 minutes with substitutions made, added on here today.
Well, there's Edwards with the ball. Subat across to the far side of the ground. It goes over the sideline, and Edgeworth with Cam Hughes, whose hip hit Nick Thompson in the head. He got a yellow card for it. Now with Dylan Holes on the right side, and the throw goes the way of Weston. They'll take their time, you'd think, to get this one. 1-1 in the under-19s. Edgeworth with a in the 22s, and Weston currently out 1-0. So 2 goals to each side over the course of the day. Not a high-scoring day of football today up at Weston. Carl Thornton with one of the best headers you'll see in the NPL this year. The amount of power he got behind that. And Jim Fogarty was all of a spectator, just watching it go over his head. Now it's Spurway. Spurway down in the box. The referee says no, free kick. It's a trailing foot. Just got him in the midriff, and that is full time. Weston get a victory that you'd think they otherwise wouldn't have after the performance. Edgeworth dominant. Tim Pratt was just as dominant, and he helped Weston over the line today. He's our man of the match here on Bar TV, and I'm sure Gary...
Without a doubt, Ben, outstanding performance by Timmy Pratt.
Yeah, Tim Pratt up here at Weston with a terrific performance. Gary, what was your summary on the game today?
I thought a great battle, predominantly played through the middle third for the 3/4 of the game. Both sides trying to sort themselves out. A bit of ill discipline and some really heavy challenges started to come into the game in the back half of the second half. An outstanding piece of work by Carl Thornton with that header. Was on target from a fair distance to put Weston in front. But I agree with your summation in that Edgeworth probably had the better of the chances, the most chances, but just couldn't convert, and Timmy Pratt the saviour.
And more importantly today, Weston got the win at home, and that sort of resurrects their poor form this season at home. Well, thank you for joining us again here on Bar TV. Don't forget, next week we have got a cracker. It's Broadmeadow and Hamilton at Darling Street Oval. It doesn't get much bigger in the NPL as a rivalry than that. It's the Big Blue version in the NPL. And we will see you next Sunday from 2:25 for that one. It's been great to have your company. Weston with a win. And it was 1-0 up here at Rockwell Automation Park. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
This is for the players. For those that leap into battle in the blink of an eye. For the drivers that compete for their club, no matter where they are. For everyone who has triumphs, tips and tricks to share.
And for those who love to play with complete freedom, this is for the game changers, the innovators. This is for the players. This is PS4.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
Swimming, basketball,
Netball,
and athletics,
you'll see this logo.
it's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
and you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.